Hey everybody, it's James here with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel and ActionFeatures.net, coming at you today with another Marvel Select review, the brand new, coming out of nowhere, surprise release, Marvel Select Disney Store exclusive Wasp figure from the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Let's check her out. Alright, let's start things off with a look at Wasp in the package first. Now, Wasp is in the standard Marvel Select style packaging, which is like a large bubble with a cardboard that kind of wraps around one side and goes to the back. But I've noticed that a lot of these Disney Store exclusive versions have a thinner package than most standard Selects. Most standard Selects have a really thick bubble and it fits in a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's almost too thick, and where there's just one figure, like the Ragnarok Thor, for example, had a really thick bubble. But not much going on inside the package. And they do that so they can keep a standard style of packaging and fit in a lot of stuff, and they look the same on a shelf. But for some reason, some of the Disney Store exclusive versions have a thinner package. And I think it's so they can fit more on a shelf. Shelf space is sort of a premium in Disney stores, so big, giant, thick packaging. You can maybe fit 8 of these on a shelf, whereas opposed to maybe 6 if you had that giant, thick packaging. So hers is a bit thinner, but it's still the same standard of Marvel Select packaging, where you get the figure up front, a side panel with art, and then the back of the card. So, in the package here we can see Wasp laid out with extra hands, a small stand that's hidden behind this art, Wasp and Ant-Man minifigures, which I believe the Ant-Man goes on that little base. We've got a logo of Ant-Man and the Wasp in the film down below, an image of Ant-Man and Wasp art from the film, from design concepts or something. The Wasp written here, special collector action figure, foreign language, Disney logo down below, which designates that it's a Disney Store figure. The side panel, which features just artwork of just Wasp this time, with another small image of Wasp behind, where it looks like maybe she was enlarging, and there's probably other sequences of the Wasp there. An Avengers logo down below, Ant-Man and Wasp on the top. The Ant-Man and Wasp logo again on the back. Another image of Wasp on the back here, which I believe is probably the same one that they cut down for the front sticker. An Avengers logo down below, the Wasp on the side, a UPC with US $24.95, Canada $34.95 price, and then other various stuff on there. Alright, so that's all the package stuff out of the way. Let's get her out of there and take a look at her. We've got Wasp out of the box. Let's take a look at her. But first I just want to say, I don't know when you're watching this, but I believe it's February 24th, and I'm actually the one that broke the news on this figure, and that was on, let me see what day this was on, 6 days ago. So 6 days ago, I broke the news of this figure existing, thanks to a friend of mine sending me a picture of her, and actually having her and sending her to me. That's kind of crazy. That's unheard of nowadays, for a figure to make it all the way into production and into somebody's hands before anybody really even knows the figure exists. We're in a world where, we've got the internet, we've got all these leaks, we've got news, forums, all those things for toys, where we know about stuff so far in advance that it's very rare to be surprised by a figure. And Marvel Select pulls that off, along with the Disney Store. They managed to get figures into stores that you never even heard of, and kind of bring back the surprise element of collecting, which I think is awesome. So the fact that I just found out about this figure 6 days ago and I now have it in my hands, kudos to Diamond Select and to Disney for making these figures happen and making surprises for fans. Another surprise was just revealed yesterday, same deal, where somebody got a picture of it, it's been posted, and that is an Ant-Man figure that matches this from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, this could be really old news by the time you're watching it, but it's an exciting time for me as a Marvel Select collector to be surprised by 2 figures. So, alright, that's all out of the way. Okay, let's see what she comes with here. First of all, she includes a set of extra hands. They're fist hands. She's got open hands displayed with her. These just go on posts, and they have the hinge joint in and out on both hands. There's no up and down movement on any of the hands. They've all hinge in and out. So that's the hands out of the way. She also includes 2 minifigures. One of herself, the Wasp, which is really nice. She's permanently mounted on this base with this kind of energy trail or wind trail behind her. I don't know how to describe that. She stands pretty decently. Every once in a while this thing falls over, but it's pretty decent. The paintwork on, though, this is very impressive for being such a small figure. There's golds and silvers and light blues, reds, all those little tiny detailing. There's little details around the lenses. It's very impressive. I was not thinking this figure was going to be as nice as it was, this little minifigure. You might not be able to tell it in the video, so if you hit the info section, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit a gallery that I'll have at actionfeatures.net, where I'll take closer pictures of these smaller figures. Ant-Man, he is not permanently on this base, he just pegs right on there. He's got a lot of paintwork too, but his costume doesn't have as many layers and colors as Wasp does, so there's not as many different paint apps on him. But it is really clean for being something so small. The Ant-Man figure that's coming out, the surprise release Ant-Man, he also includes minifigures. I believe he has 3. One of himself shrunk down, and what's really neat is he has a Hank Pym Ant-Man suit, where he goes into the quantum realm, and then a Wasp, Janet Wasp, in her original Wasp costume minifigure. So that's pretty neat that they include 2 other characters in with the Ant-Man. Alright, so let's move on to Wasp herself. Now I want to talk about her paintwork first because it's really quite impressive. There's a lot of different colors on this costume, a lot of different lines, a lot of different mixes of silver into black, into gold, and then back to silver. And Diamond Select really nailed it. I mean, all the paintwork is super clean and very detailed. I don't see really much stray lines at all or any gloppy spots. It's a very impressive job on this costume. So we've got stuff like little red tips on the boots and a small red line going into a silver line on the knee, and then a gold spot on the kneecap, and then back up the thigh where it gets really impressive between having black on the outside, a silver line, a red line, another piece of black, and then dark blue on the inside. And then all the chest work is really nice where it's got these red accents that are really thin lines, silver, gold, another line of silver around the gold, same on the arms. Very impressive work. I also really like the gold they chose. So this gold armor is more of a flat gold or a white gold, I don't know how to describe it, as opposed to a really shiny gold. And that's the way it looks in the movie. So their accuracy on the colors here I think is pretty impressive. There's also like a nice texturing in all the gold spots, where it has almost like a basketball patterning, which a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies seem to have, and it's captured really well here. About the only gripe I would have when it comes to the paintwork on the figure is that they chose to just paint yellow lenses on the Wasp helmet as opposed to doing a clear lens like the Marvel Legend. I'm going to bring the Marvel Legend out here now so that you can kind of see the differences between the 2 paintworks, if she's willing to stand, because sometimes I have trouble making this Wasp figure stand. Is it going to be one of those days? It's not. So as you can see, the gold is quite different between the 2. Let me scoot this Wasp over and this Wasp over. This one has, you know, more of a bright gold or a metal gold, and this one feels like more of a white gold. I think this one is way more accurate to the film. And a lot of the paint work on this is a mass market figure, mass release, meant for kids and adults. So I can understand where, you know, there's not going to be as many paint apps on a Marvel Legend as a Marvel Select. I understand that. Marvel Select is more geared to the adult collector, and this is geared towards more an all audiences collector. So a lot of the paint details from the suit, or a lot of the coloring details from the suit, aren't on the Marvel Legend that you can now see on the Marvel Select. Stuff like the black on the boots isn't there. The lines on the legs aren't quite as clean and thin. So the silver line's just gold on the Marvel Legend. There's no inner black area on the hip. And a lot of the work on the chest area and the stomach armor. So the silvers and blues are missing on the Marvel Legend, where they're here on the Marvel Select. Same on the arms, where there's detailing that flows down the arm in segments. Again, this may be hard to tell on the video, but take a look at the gallery and I'll have side-by-side comparisons on everything. Like I said, the major area where the Marvel Legends is superior is this clear lens on the mask and the fact that she comes with an interchangeable head. Let me turn this around one more time here. Oh, please don't fall. There we go. Please don't fall. As you can see, there's also some paint detailing on the back of the wing set, where there's like a light blue patterning here, and there's just a lot, overall more detail on the Marvel Select wing set than there is on the Marvel Legends. Okay, let's take her back around here. Let's talk about the articulation really quick here. So ankles, she's got, let me grab her this way. She's got ankles that are on the rocker, and they hinge up and down, and they also swivel where they post into the ankle. She's got a double knee joint, a swivel at the top of the hip, and then she's got ball jointed hips, so they swing out and in. It's not the greatest ball joint in the world, but they do hinge out. This one's a little more stuck than this one is. They hinge out pretty well and swivel around. There's a good amount of movement there. Then she's got a ball jointed torso, which is really nice, especially for Select. I think they're getting much better on their torso ball joints to get a lot of movement out of them. So she can go all over the place. Then she's got standard ball jointed shoulders, which is really, I guess, more of a hinge and swivel than a ball joint. She's got swivels at the elbows that also hinge up and down. She's got swivels at the wrist where they post in and they hinge up and down, and then a ball jointed neck. Her wings are also articulated, so the smaller wings move up and down, and the larger wings move up and down, so you can get a lot of different poses out of them. If I can get her to stand back up, we'll do some comparisons here, size-wise. I've probably messed up her center of gravity, and she's not going to stand. There we go. Like I said, I wish that it came with an interchangeable unmasked head, but there could be likeness rights when it comes to Marvel Select. Maybe they couldn't get likeness approval. I know sometimes they say that they're going to be able to do an unmasked head, and it doesn't actually happen, so that may be one of those cases here. So here she is next to the original Ant-Man. Like I said, there's a new one coming, but she still looks good with the original Ant-Man too. And then along the other side, let's just throw in... Here's a Thor Ragnarok that I put a Marvel Legend head on. So you can kind of see her with other Marvel Select movie figures. The size is good. I think she stands the right height. I wish I had a tape measure here to show you guys the exact height of her. But as you can see, she fits in well with other Marvel Selects. She's a little bit on the short side, which is good because she's one of the smaller female characters, so it would make sense for her to be as tall as Thor. Here she is next to a couple of comic-based Marvel Select figures. Let's throw in Winter Soldier as he drops his gun. And the awesome, spectacular Spider-Man, who is always a bit on the big side in my opinion. So there she is next to some comic Marvel Selects. Alright, I think about covers everything on the figure. I really like this figure. I think she's very impressive. I can deal without the extra head and the colored lenses just based on how nice the paintwork is. And she's basically another Avenger to add to my Marvel Select movies universe that I wasn't expecting to get, along with another Ant-Man. So, awesome figure. The price point, the back of the package says $24.95. That should be what she's showing up at in Disney stores, although Marvel Select and Diamond Select just announced a price increase that they've had to increase their prices for the first time in a long time that should be going into effect March 1st. So, I don't know if that also it takes into account the Disney Store exclusive figures. I would assume it does. I don't know if her price will change as that time hits us, or if they'll all be $24.95. I don't know. But either at $24.95 or at $30, it's still a very impressive figure for that price point. Again, if you want to check out the gallery, it'll be linked in the info section below, or just go to actionfeatures.net. I should have some more Marvel Select reviews up soon. I know I've got to do Thor, Groot, and as soon as I find that Ant-Man, I'm going to do that Ant-Man. Alright? So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like the videos, please click like and subscribe and notify, and I'll talk to you guys next time.